Hi Cancer, this is Casey with your Love Matters reading for July. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to all the new viewers. Shay and I are so happy to have you here with us. She'll have a video that's going to pop up at the end of this one for your sign, so please check for that. The first two cards I'm going to pull will be for your energy in their energy. Now, this is a relationship reading that encompasses different relationships in your life, so it resonate with a romantic one, or it could be maybe a family member. Oops, sorry, cards are flying. Family member, a job situation. It can also relate to relationship with yourself and your self-care, or your relationship with spirit and what we're doing with that. So this is a general reading, guys, so apply the messages how they fit for you. The card I'm going to pull for your energy is the Thinking Woman, and their energy is coming in as the Temple Path. Now, if you resonate with one side more so than the other, like I said, this is your reading and it is general, so you take the messages however they come at you. There's no right or wrong with this, okay? So the Thinking Woman is about a very strong, intelligent person. This is someone that does the research and is very book smart and articulate. And it's very hard to pull the wool over this person's eyes. They're very, very smart. The Temple Path, now that's all about spirituality, actually, and going down that road of listening to the higher self and the messages that are coming in and the new opportunities that are bringing this person's energy a lot of joy by doing whatever that they're doing. Now, it could be risky too, financially or in different areas, where the Thinking Woman is all about the numbers. She's all about having things balanced, making sure that there are no risks in that aspect that are too large that could set someone back. So, I mean, she's very, very intense energy. I'm pulling two major arcana to clarify these. Ooh, the Hermit, going within, listening to the higher power, doing the self-reflection that's needed to purge things, to balance things out. Wow, that's real intense energy. Oh, yep, Star card. Again, another spirituality card. Hope, renewal, rebirth, faith, taking a leap of faith. They have two faith cards right next to each other, religion cards, spirituality cards. And then on your side, you're very determined, and it's all about the belief systems, and it's all about what is tried and true. So I have this feeling that the other energy is more of a free spirit right now, and kind of following their path and kind of changing things up a bit that's different from the status quo. All right, we're going to pull some obstacles or advice, obstacles, challenges, or advice. Cancer for. All right, guys, let's see what we have. Stand your ground. Holy moly, yes, something is really happening with this other energy that you're not budging anyway, left or right, forward, backwards, nothing. You are like, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it works. And you're letting them know that with every fiber of your being. You have a vision. Okay, accelerated motion. This is a vision. This is an infinity symbol as well. This is like the Eight of Wands coming in, where there is something happening. There's a lot of communication, but you have this particular vision that you are not letting go. You've worked on it. You've figured it out. You've laid all the groundwork for it. It's extremely balanced. You know it's going to work. But this person is like, nope, we want to go down this way. We just want to wing it. We want to be like the Fool card, and we want to, see where the life takes us and kind of live in that unconventional thought process, which in a lot of aspects, the Star card does represent Aquarius, and Aquarius has a similar, not all of them, of course, but some of them, they're more of a free spirit. They're ready to take on something new. They can leave a job and a house and everything behind if they think that the next step is going to be more adventurous, because that they have an adventurous kind of soul. Memories of love, looking back on their lives, and thinking of all the peaceful times, the happy times. But something happens to them, and there's a lot of tower or disruption that breaks that down, and then there's moving on. I think you holding on so fiercely to what you believe is true and tried that you do not want to take any risks that are going to put yourself, your family, or anybody in jeopardy of losing what you've already established. And they feel bad. I mean, they feel really heartbroken that you don't want to do this with them, and that is really cheering them up. But they're feeling a calling that they have to move on. They have to try this. So I don't know if this is a personal relationship with their significant other, that there's a job opportunity somewhere that's far away that they're looking into, or if this is a kid, your child, or someone that's a young adult that they're moving on to something that is something that you don't see the potential of it being very solid, a solid foundation for them, and you're worrying. So it could be that as well. But definitely a family dynamic, definitely someone that has a thought process in their head that is not, it's not, you don't think it's well thought out. You don't think it's well balanced. You see how they can be entertained by this option, but you're also like, yeah, it looks good, but did you think of this, that, and the other? Are you really sure this is what you want to do? That kind of thing. If you have kids that are going off to college or something like that, this could be your energy. Because I don't feel like there's like a fight or anything. I just feel like they want to branch out in an aspect that you just don't understand, or you understand it to a point, but you don't condone it. If you have a son or a daughter, then they come to you and all of a sudden they're like, Mom, I'm quitting job. I want to go be a race car driver. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, that sounds fun, but, I don't think that's going to work for you. Knight of Coins. Yes, you want something very stable. You want them to move forward in a very stable environment, something that they're very protected, that that's going to be financially good for them and for the family. And here's the Page of Cups, where they're going with their emotions and they're going forward. And there is maybe like communication, because you have the Cups and the Memories of Love. There's communication about where they've been and where they want to go. Sometimes the Page of Cups is an apology card for me, but I feel that in this particular spread, it's more about the communication of and the synchronicities and the new beginnings and things of that nature that they want to explore at this time. They're seeing a vision that you are not seeing right now. And they don't mean to disrupt anything. They don't mean to have anybody upset. Let's get some clarifiers on these. I think you need to be patient and wait it out. Let them get it out of their system. If this is a romantic situation, and they're going for, I'm going with job situation, or if they're moving on and moving out because of another romantic situation, of course, you work around that the way you feel best. However, I don't feel that that's the reason why they're leaving. I feel like the reason why they need to move on, that they're following a path or a calling. Yeah, Three of Wands. Seeing the future, being very firm on that rock, being very stable. Again, a lot of information coming in. Now we have to be careful with the Seven of Wands, because the seven also indicates illusion. Which path do you take? Which one is going to be best for you? What can you manipulate and manifest now? You can't, you can't jump ahead. And I think that's what you're trying to tell them, that you can't jump ahead on this. You have to go through all the things. It's like, I used an analogy the other day. You can't expect a kindergartner to do calculus without going through all the steps in the math program. So this is kind of the same thing. You have to learn from basics in order for you to build and to grow. And I feel that this energy is a young energy, and then they want to like jump out and start their life, and you're trying to get them to focus on the important thing. High Priestess in reverse. This is interesting because this is hidden agendas. This is needing to listen to the inner voice. And I think that you see the hidden agendas. It's like you see all the red flags. You see all, the holes in the scheme that they're presenting to you right now. And you're calling them out on it, which is represented with the thinking woman. And you've been there, done that. You're more experienced. You have more life experience in this person. And they're going to kind of pulling it out of air that they're going to go do this and go do that. And you're like, wait a minute, did you think this through? Yes, King of Pentacles in reverse. They're trying to control their situation, or they think you're being controlling of their situation because of the foundation. And there can be some imbalance in this. Someone's trying to be the domineering one here, or they see you as the domineering. It's like, every time they come up with you, but what about this? You shoot it down. And so they're going to try not to, they're going to walk on eggshells for a little while because they're trying not to cause any conflict. You have the disruption in the upright, and then you have it right below it. So they're learning that as you're putting your foot down, they're going to avoid conflict. They're going to avoid talking about this. They're going to avoid communicating because they're getting you so rattled and upset about it. Ace of Swords in reverse is saying that there's going to be a lack of motivation. Eventually, it will dawn on them, everything that you're saying, that this is very overwhelming and they really didn't think things through. So you're going to have to let them kind of do a little bit of whatever it is that they think they want to do, and they're going to realize that it's not what they thought. It's going to be very overwhelming for them. It's not going to be as easy as they thought it was going to be, and they're going to lose the motivation for this. They're going to lose the determination to move on in this aspect, in this avenue. So you got to kind of let it play out is what I'm getting. They're causing some strife. You know, I'm kind of relating it to kids where when they were at a certain age, they thought they had everything planned out. They thought they knew exactly what they were going to do and how they were going to do it and what they were going to wear while they were doing it. And as a mom, I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? And all this other stuff. And they would fight me every step of the way. And then eventually I'm just like, all right, figure it out yourself. And then they come back to me and they're like, well, you were kind of right on this. And then this did happen. And, so they kind of, the wind kind of gets out of their sails once reality hits. And that's the energy I'm getting from this particular relationship. I would love to know if this is resonating with you guys. And if it is, a situation with your kids or someone along those lines that they're coming up with this great idea that you're just like, no. No, we're not doing that. Here we have reminder, and right in the middle it says don't forget in stone. And that is important here because you're reminding them of what is important. You're reminding them of what the foundation should look like, and you're showing them, and you're not letting them forget. You're not letting them get too high in their own imagination. You're pulling them back down to earth, and you're asking them to actually really reevaluate what it is that they're trying to do. Trapped. Okay, so the reason why they're doing this is because they feel trapped. They feel like they need to expend some energy and move out a little bit out of their comfort zone and experience some things. So this is what's triggering this right now, and it's nothing good nor bad. I think it's just a learning thing. It's like they're expanding. And so sometimes when we've been in a certain energy for so long and we need something new, we need to be more creative, we need to branch out in different aspects. And I think that that's what they're trying to do right now. So as much as this idea seems out of this world, they're just trying to figure out how to embrace their gifts and be able to expand on them and have a little freedom, have a little fun, a little excitement. If this is a relationship reading and you're been with this person for a long time, they've been in the same job for a long time, and it's starting to become mundane. They're getting, aggravated. They don't feel the joy in it anymore. And that's where they're feeling that they need to make this big change. And you're like, wait a minute, you have all this stability there. You've been there a long time, retirement, all that good stuff. You need to make sure they don't forget that, and they need to find a different avenue to express themselves and release that tension. Okay, so your angel message is second opinion, and it reads, Dear God and Archangel Raphael, guide me to the best healthcare professionals for this situation. I always like to say, if this is resonating with a medical situation, feel free to seek a second, third, fourth opinion and make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into and what they're talking about. I also feel on a energy level that this is talking about a different option, a different avenue. If your husband is feeling this way about his job, have him take up painting, golf, go play pool, go do something out of the ordinary that will release the tension, get a second hobby going on, get those creative juices again. Again, if this is something to do with maybe your young adult son or daughter, get them back onto a track where they're releasing that energy and they're able to shine their light in a different aspect where they don't feel trapped in school or feel trapped, whatever it is that they're feeling trapped in. Kids can be difficult sometimes and they not know exactly what they want. So sometimes you have to give them a few options. Oh, wow. And their energy for the angel message is unconditional joy. And it says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me appreciate everything that makes me happy right now. So they will find the joy. When I focus on this card, this is beautiful angel, and he's holding all these dogs, okay? And I am such a dog person. I'm sure you've heard dogs bark on some videos. Um, and so I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe some of you need to get a puppy, okay, or an adult dog, or volunteer at a shelter or something along those lines, something that gives you unconditional joy, like pets, and something that really raises your vibration. So I think looking at things from a different perspective and getting some new hobbies and some fresh ideas flowing, I think that will really help you through the month of July. Cancer, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. I hope the message helps, and I would love to know if this resonates with you and where you are on your journey. So please leave me a comment. I would also love to have you guys back, so please like and subscribe. Take care.